You are listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxshall, in which I chronicle my life and attempts to become a professional writer by, doing some writing daily, hopefully. Hello, it's Thursday the 2nd of May today, and I thought I'd very briefly talk about the genres that I write in and why this is kind of making me have to be a little bit more selective about when I search representation, when I search for an agent. Obviously, the deadlines I talked about last week have been and gone. I haven't quite finished going through the list of agents yet. I don't have an issue with the fact that I haven't, because the friend that I'm sitting down with to go through them, I can't see her until the 9th. So as long as that's all done by the 9th, which is a week today, it's not going to slow me down at all. So yes, what I have to do is go through about another 50 or 60 agents and pick one, or pick any that I think are suitable for what I do. And then I'm meeting my friend on the 9th, and we're going to choose what we think are the best 3 fits. Now, the reason it's a little more complicated is because I wouldn't like to put what I write into a specific genre, but obviously when you're sending stuff to an agent and representation, it's useful for them to be able to kind of say, oh, this person writes this kind of book. You can see that with people like Ian Banks. He actually wrote in 2 genres, and I don't know if he was published by 2 different publishers for the different genres, but he was definitely under slightly different names. So Ian Banks wrote normal, everyday fiction, and Ian M. Banks was his name when he published science fiction. And what's weird is my first book, The English Hikikomori, seems to be in a different genre to all the others. And I don't know, English Hikikomori is very much real world. There's no fantastic elements. I don't even know what you'd call it as a genre. It's fiction, obviously, but I don't know how more you go into it. It's about someone working up to suicide. I don't think mental health fiction is a genre yet. I don't know really what you'd call it. Real life, real world, I don't know. And then everything else, so Still Life, Empress of the Trees, and obviously Self-Portrait and Blank Canvas, when I get round to writing them, are I think you'd either call them urban fantasy or what's the other thing that's a bit like urban fantasy that's a slightly different name? But yeah, so those are very different genres, and I'm hoping, obviously, that if I do manage to get some interest in one of my books, that the same agent might be interested in other stuff. So this is why I'm having to be quite selective, because I'm effectively looking for... There are quite a few who will say no fantasy. Now, I'm guessing when they say fantasy, they're thinking more of your Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones type thing. But mine is magical realism, I think is what you could call mine as well. I don't know, can you go urban realism or magical fantasy? I don't know. But yeah, so they're the 2 sort of genres that the other books have fallen into. But I would like to try and find someone who would take both. I mean, the other thing I will discuss with my friend when we see them is maybe submitting different books to different people, because why not? There are different products, different properties, different stories, and very different genres. So maybe that might be a way forward. And certainly there do seem to be enough. What I'm mainly selecting at the moment seems to be the agents that are interested in new writers and not an unpublished people. So, but there's quite a few of those that will deal with both of the genres that I write in. So that's kind of what's going through the back of my head. So I'm working now until what day is it? It's Tuesday. It's Thursday the 2nd. I've flown to Milan and back today. And I'm back in a hotel at Heathrow, and then tomorrow I will hopefully be in a hotel in Edinburgh. I haven't been able to live stream, which has been very disappointing because the internet here at the hotel isn't good enough, so I haven't been able to do that. And I'm actually missing it. I feel like I'm chomping at the bit to do a bit more work on the book, but I'm quite tired as well, so I probably wouldn't be much use if I did that, to be honest. The other thing I was going to quickly do whilst I was here is have a little bit of a rant at the Royal Mail. So I've mentioned Big Finish Productions here in the past. Well, they produce lovely audio dramas available for download or on CD, and very occasionally they produce stuff and put it on vinyl. There hasn't been a huge amount of vinyl. I think they've done one Peter Davison Doctor Who story called Spare Parts on vinyl. They've done an 8th Doctor story, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's a Christmassy one on vinyl. They've done a few Christopher Eccleston ones on vinyl. I think they may have done a picture of one of the Dorian Gray spin-offs on vinyl. But the stuff that they've done that I finally decided to buy was they did a 9-part mini-series called Dalek Universe, starring David Tennant as the 10th Doctor and featuring characters from various other media, actually. One that they had created, Anya Kingdom, who may or may not be related to Sarah Kingdom, and then a robot, Mark 7, who I think has been in various other media in the past. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The important thing is, I ordered them a while ago, but they've only just dispatched them, and I realised they were going to arrive when I was away from home. So I did the form online and said, no, please send it on this date, and I put the date after I was due to be back. So I finished working on the 6th. I'll be home late on the 6th, and I asked for these vinyl David Tennant Doctor Who things to be delivered on the 7th, and I've just had email confirmation that they were delivered to my next door neighbour. Now, I have no problem with my next door neighbour, but that's not what I asked for. You know, I want them to be delivered to me on the day that I've asked them to. So I'm really quite annoyed that they've gone and delivered to my next door neighbour. And what if he's on holiday for a week after I get back? You know, what will happen then? I won't see these things for 2 weeks. So that's quite irritating. So I've complained and asked them to pick them up and deliver them to me on the day that I've asked them to. And we shall see if they do that. Never mind. Right, that's my very quick update for today. Tomorrow, hopefully, I will update you from Edinburgh. Well, I will update you from Edinburgh. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Flight might get cancelled. But I'll probably be updating you from Edinburgh. And even more importantly, I'm really hoping that I'll have a good internet signal at the hotel and be able to do a writing live stream. That's me for today. Take care. Bye-bye. You have been listening to The Diary of a Wannabe Writer, presented by Richard A. Boxall. Thank you for tuning in to my random ramblings, and if you'd like to know more about me or my projects, visit my Linktree at linktr.ee/Richard Writes, capital R, capital W. Thank you for listening.